everybody, it's me, your boy RJ. Today we're going to change transmission filter and transmission fluid in a 2007 to 14 Chevy Avalanche, Tahoe, Suburban, Yukon, Sierra, Silverado 5.3. Okay, what you're going to need is a 13 millimeter socket, a 15 millimeter, a T40, Torx T40 head to remove the transmission shift bracket, and at least 7-8 quarts of Dextron VI, which is 6. Alright, you're gonna need all that. Check back. Oh, an oil pan. Check out the video. We'll upload that in a little bit. Hey everybody, it's me, your boy RJ. Today we're changing transmission fluid and filter on a 2007 to 14 Chevy Silverado, Avalanche, Suburban, Tahoe, GMC Yukon, Sierra with a 4L60E 5.3 engine. Okay, 4L60E is the transmission. No, you should know. Okay, you're gonna need Torx 40 bolt to remove the bracket on the transmission shift cable. You're going to need 13 millimeter for all of the bolts on the transmission. There should be 16 of them. You're gonna need some extensions. You might need more than this. Things get in the way and stuff. And this 15 is in case you have to remove exhaust parts. And don't be like me. One of mine just sheared right off. So I was getting it ready for use your PB blast, liquid wrench, whatever you can on stuff. So now I'm gonna have to drill that out and put a new bolt in. So you don't want to do that. As long as the Torx 40 works, you may not have to remove the exhaust. If you can get in there and get the Torx 40, I'll show you. It's up behind. You can't even see what you're doing. It's very difficult. And that's why I was already moving it, just to make it easier, because the exhaust, where it comes in from the two catalytic converters, goes right over the top of your transmission pan, and it makes it hard to get it down out of there. Okay? So, I did it last time. I'm pretty sure I removed it a little to give it a little give, but I should have done it. Here we go. So I'm going to show you what it does. Things can happen. Be careful. Get some PB blast like I always use and didn't use today. Almost forgot. You're going to need a pan. And you're going to need, I got 8 bottles of Dextron VI, which is 6. That's what you'll need at least. You may need more. I'm not flushing. I'm dropping the pan, drain it, change the filter, and going. We're about 38,000 miles since the last one. So let's get to work. All right, everybody. So this here, this here is your transmission shift cable. This bracket has a 40 Torx up on top here, out of the way. And this is why I'm going to do, what do you call it? The drop, because see, this is your exhaust, and it gets in the way, and you have trouble lifting this out and down. You would think it has enough room, and that's why it's deep in like this, but it just doesn't, and it gets in the way. So what we're going to do here is try to take this off. Can you see it? See my hand? So you just got to feel around for it. Now here's the problem. There's not a lot of room. I don't know if I can get this ratchet in there to do it. Some people do. I just don't know how I'm going to get this loose. All right. I'm going to put this on there. And wrestle this around. I'm going to have to turn this repeatedly. It's a really dumb little area to work. There's just not much movement. I'm going to try this way. Let's see if we can get in here. There's just not much you can do. So, you guys see how I'm working? Can you see that now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do, and you got to loosen this. I'm actually in my cam person. First thing first, when you're working on a transmission, show them the tires. Every tire. Block all of them. You don't want to get drug. Okay?
There's ones in the back.
Block every tire, but I'm still going to have my cam person get out from under here when I do this, because this loosens. I got the parking brake on too, but this loosens your parking brake from your shifter, so the car will want to roll. All right, everybody, it's very difficult. Be careful not to strip it. And see the bolt? I got it raised, so it will now come off by finger tightening. I can't do. Yeah, I can. See, and then it's this whole bracket's going to come out of there. and then you could take off this cable easier, see? And then get it out of the way so you can get these 2 bolts that are under there, which are right there and right there. All right. Yeah, be very careful you don't strip that out. You need it. All right. That's all I want to show you. All right. So the second bolt is right here behind this part. This is going to be even harder. You can see it through that hole right there. Same kind, Torx. You gotta do it, and then you can slide the part off the back of the thing to get it out of the way of the transmission. Okay? Here we go. Fun. Where's that second? It's the person. Here, come on in here. Let us see it. You're gonna need 2 hands. One shoved through here by your transmission hand and over the drive shaft, and then the other one here. And it's really difficult. There's not a lot of movement. And keep safety glasses on because of the amount of debris. If you've got some like safety goggles and strap on your face, might be better. I've already gotten a lot of rust and debris in my face. Okay, after you get those 2 bolts, the bracket comes loose. See this? You can slide this out of the way here, and then you can get to these last 2 bolts that I couldn't get to before. What you're gonna do is you got 13 millimeter. We're gonna go all the way around, loosen them. You're gonna want to loosen these less in the back and more in front, and just let it drip for a while, because the weight, if not, it's just going to fall down all in your face. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start going around with the 13 millimeter. Okay, everybody. So these should be 7 to 9 pounds torqued, so they should be easy to come off. It should be fighting you if you don't figure out what's going on. Get some stuff. You shear one of these off, you're going to be worse than I am with my exhaust that I sheared off. These hold your thing. If you shear one, you got to take it somewhere and get it pulled out if you can't do it yourself. You will no longer be able to drive it. These 2 are going to need a shorter extension. As you can see, I'm hitting the side. You're going to need a deep well, and then you're going to have very little work room. There you go. There we go. Nice on the back here is the pan is shallower. I have the deep pan. You can get around a little more right here. You don't need a lot of strength on them. They're 13 millimeter, okay? So just go around and get them all just to break them free. Wear your safety glasses if you can, because I've eaten a lot of debris already. You want to do, like I said, I removed the front 3 here, and then I like gradually removed as it goes. So these are still kind of tight. These are all done, and the weight will just start peeling it apart, and it'll start dripping. Leave the bolts in, let it hold it up, and then as it goes, once it gets to a point where you can't get any more, take the next 2 bolts out. All right, so we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, get the last 2 there, and you're going to slowly lower it and hold the weight up and let it drip out like that. All right. So just sit there and wait a few minutes, and then these 2 are loose, and then we're going to have to take them by hand and slowly lower it, okay? All right, so the reason I removed this exhaust here and broke one of them off, watch. When you get real tight here, you got to pull just enough to get through, because there's parts there where it doesn't want to come out. So really no design there. So as you see, if not, you get stuck right here between the exhaust and this. You will not be able to push it out. You got to just give it so you can give a little leverage. And there you go. And you had to have this out of the way, and it fights there too. And then we're going to take a wire brush. We're going to clean all this up. I'll show you. And we're going to drop this guy out of there. Let's get this pulled back, because there's going to be a lot of fluid in there. And this just pops into place right there. You just turn it and kind of pop it out. There's nothing that holds it. You just kind of lightly leverage it. It's full of fluid. When you do this, it's going to drop a bunch of shit. There you go. pull this pan back and let it drip. Of course, it drips all over your exhaust. You're going to have to wipe everything off. We're going to let it set for a few minutes. We're going to get this out. We're going to get this oil pan out of here. And we're going to go clean it. Here's the old gasket. And as you can see, when you pinch the gasket, this is only been on like 4 years ago. See that? Roasted. So, now we got a mess here with this oil pan over here. We need lots of paper towels for this. You want to do it every 30 to 50. Like I said, I'd like to have done it around 30. It's pretty dark. See that sediment? See all this stuff? That is metallic sediment that is connecting to the magnet. So you want to clean all that out of there. See, it's a broken out well, but with like metal in it. Alright? Okay, when you get this all cleaned up, I'm going to use an air compressor to blow out any dust that might be in there now, and any if some of that got in there. I didn't use it on the inside. I would have if it was filthy. I got it right here a little. That's just like burnt in. I don't think that's not in the gasket. Make sure you get your magnet really clean. The stuff wants to cling to it because it's a magnet. So you're gonna have to multiple times like glaze it with carbon choke cleaner and completely rub it down, because all the stuff that's on it is little metallic pieces you don't want going back into your engine. It's going to be very hard to get them all off. And I'm going to take the air gun and hit it again. Okay, so get your air, get that real nice and clean. Try to get all those pieces of magnetic off. See, the stuff still stuck to it. The little pieces still stuck. Blow them off, they get in your hand. You might get the splinters after. Fun. Okay, take them in here. Up. Get all those little dust debris out that you see. Try to get the outside as clean as you can, just because that debris could end up back in it when you're tightening stuff. It's not as important as the inside. So get some carb cleaner, wire brush, hit it up, not with a lot of burnt stuff on the outside. Okay, there we go. Alright, after you get it all done and you wipe down all around the outside, there's no gasket stuff left. There's a grommet. If you can pull it out, it goes up in this hole. I can't get my own one out, so I'm just going to leave it because it's just a thing that holds the filter in place, and it's up in this hole. There's no way I can get that. I'm going to end up damaging it. I should do it, but I'm worried about if I damage it. Show the light up there more. Can you see this? If I damage it, that we're gonna have a more problem. So I'm just gonna leave that there. It's still holding. It just makes it seal up in there tight and holds this where it needs to be. So you just gotta see if when you put this in, it still works good. No. There you go, and it is. It's holding it. They're just locked in place. So if not, you can leave that. I'm gonna wipe this down again because it still dripped a little bit, and we're gonna put the gasket up and put the pan on, and that'll be it. We'll start filling her up. Okay, all right, so you're gonna have one squared corner and the rest are round, and then up here you got the metal kind of dips down. That's where these two that are dipped, you know, and then see how this bumps out. That warns you that that's why this bumps out, because you want your gasket to be over that metal rim. Okay, so that's how you gotta line this up. So you want to do it before you get under there. Clean your magnet, put it back in. Be careful with it. It's a flimsy magnet. It's not very strong. Okay? That's it. We're going to climb under here and we're going to start putting... Make sure you got this hook still. Your transmission dipstick is... Do you see it? Where's the tube? Do you see it? Yeah, right there. No. Here. Am I on the wrong side now? Where's it go? It's right here. Okay? So make sure that's out of the way just the way you're doing it. And you're going to have to do the same problem where it fights you a little bit. Be careful. It's going to want to not put your gasket kind of over it a little. And then you can use a little bit of RTV sealant if you want to keep it on place, but it's going to move anyway because you can force it through like that. So you got to do it once you got it up, and then you got to light. You get it like this and slowly pull every part in, okay? It's really a pain in the butt, but we're through. Unlike the other time fight now, it's a little easier. What you gotta do is like put one bolt up at a time and pull your gasket through. It works if you kind of have it like up before you try to push it up. Okay, so we're gonna do this and start sliding in the bolts. And what you want to do is one bolt on one side, and then like this corner, and then go far other corner, and do that slowly all the way around. Okay. Okay. So this bracket, if it gets pinched down, will kind of hold you from putting the pan in. You'll have to wiggle it up and hold it and pry it over and go around it. Okay, and that's part of what fought you on your way out. Once you get past it, though, you're good, and you can start putting bolts in. You got a bolt for me?
It's recording sec.
Alright, so this bracket that we released, see this bottom part of it, it catches. And if it gets pinned there, you're going to get stuck and you won't be able to push the pan down. So you have to kind of pin it, move it, maneuver, and do this at the same time. And then you'll go through. And then once you're through, you can just start putting your bolts on, okay? Yeah? So once you get the first bolt to hold the pan so you don't have to hold it, you can take this. The gaskets will kind of hold the bolts up because the holes are slightly smaller. So what you're going to do is just force it gently through, and as you can see, it holds it up for you. And the bolt I thought I had came loose, so I'm gonna do a little more. There you go. And then
that one came loose too. That you just
those aren't in.
Oh.
In here. All right, see, I got the bolts holding them up there. You should be good. You can do this if they're holding good enough before you put the pan under, but the reason I don't is while you're wrestling this part, the bolts get kicked and fall off. And it's a major hassle, so I do it after. All right. All right, everybody. So what we're doing is 96. You probably can't read it because I got grease all over it. 96 inch-pounds. It's 7 to 9 foot-pounds. Foot-pounds is exactly 12 inches per foot. So 96 would be 12 would be 108 if you did 9 foot-pounds, and if you did 7 foot-pounds, you would be 84. Yes, 84. So we went up to, we're doing 8 foot-pounds, which is 96. The reason I'm doing is these are very, you don't want to shear off any of these. So when I go inch-pounds, I will hear it click a lot easier. On a 9-pound on my big, my foot-pound ones is bigger, and it kind of, at low weights, it immediately, like, you go over it. There it is, right there. Hear that? That means we're there. Okay? You get there very quick. You want to bounce around still. I'm going to go over here. It sucks I had to add an extension. The extensions adjust the poundage just by a little. That's what I'm going for the middle. There it goes, right there. See that? Okay. So the reason you're doing the torque you want to make set is if you go over, you can crush down the gasket and then it'll leak. You can also shear off the bolts. So, all right, I do 16 of these. I'm sure you don't want to sit here and watch, but we'll be back in a minute. Okay, because these are difficult to get out and you don't want to strip them being the torques, you want to get a wire brush or a spin brush on a drill and just clean out any like corrosion that's in the threading so that it's easy to go back in and you don't strip it out. Because as you can see, look at you see the head? I almost messed it up. So you do that, or you're gonna go buy a new one. And then we gotta have the fun after we put this in is putting the exhaust back on. I'm probably gonna do the fluid and stuff first and then mess with that. All right, so we're almost there. These you want to try to clean them good too, because then you can put them back in by finger tightening most of the way instead of having to ratchet that tight area like I did to get it out. Alright, so we'll be back in a few. Two torques on. They're going to take a while. You try to get them as much hand as you can and then take it forever. And then I need you to wipe down as much of the stuff as you can, because so you don't want this to catch like smelling burning. You're gonna have a lot of burning shit. So try to wipe it all off, and we'll fill it up in a few minutes here. All right, bye. So let's release the exhaust like I told you for the video. So I had to get off my cutoff wheel and grind that down, and then as you can see, it's pretty flat. I'm gonna try and punch it out. So if you have that problem, that's what you're gonna have to do. See, there you go. Now you can see it's like a bolt with some knurls on the side, and then they kind of welded it in. So we're gonna do that, and when they say cutoff wheel, you should know if you have one. If you don't, this is what I used. You could use a Dremel, but it would take you all day. Here's the air power cutoff wheel, and slowly ground it in. All right. I have this little 1 quart that I use. I'm gonna dump this in here and figure out how many quarts of fluid came out. It looks like 4 to 5, okay? But we're gonna put that in there and we're gonna pour them in here, and then you'll know how much to do, okay? So just fill this up, quart, dump it, and you know exactly how much to put in, but you still wanna test it. So when you get near the mount, you might need to pull out in the street, which I'll do in the morning when it's daylight so you can see, run it in neutral and check it all. All right, so we got 4 quarts, maybe a little more because of the spill. So I'm gonna just take this 4 quarts right here, which is 1 gallon. And this is the crappiest part about these. The transmission, where you fill them up, the dipstick area is pretty crappy. This is Dextron VI or 6. And I'm gonna have to get my chair because I'm too short. We'll go on during that conversation. All right, be careful with this. It's you want this smaller filter, the
Smaller what?
smaller end of the funnel type. You need these because to fit, but it also goes slow. It'd be nice if it had a bigger area to fill, but then you'd probably have some overflow. So you just gotta sit here and let it go.